What's going on, guys? You're well here, and welcome to Confabulate, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. I'm your host, Yoel Sanchez. Thank you so much for stopping by. And today, guys, we have Cameron Reyes here. Thank you so much, Cameron, for stopping by. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man. You've been asking me for a while, and it's been hard to find some time because we're both so busy, but it's cool to be on.
Yeah, I'm very excited that we actually found time. We're actually doing this because you've been a dream guest of mine. I remember starting this podcast and writing down a bunch of names, and I wrote your name down. I'm like, I don't know if he's ever going to come on, but I'm going to make it work somehow. So let's see if it'll work. So I'm really, really excited. Once again, thank you.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I'm not really good with compliments and everything, but I'm excited to be on the show. So I appreciate that you had me in mind. But I don't know how interesting my story is, but let's do it.
Dude, I'm the same way. I hate compliments. When people compliment me, I'm just kind of sitting there all awkwardly, like smiling, but not believing a single thing they're saying. I hate receiving compliments too.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a struggle, but we get through it.
Yeah. The first thing I wanted to ask you was about not only your YouTube channel, but about editing videos. Because I remember in high school, you loved to edit videos and you would post them on Instagram. So the first thing I wanted to ask you about was, when did you start liking like editing videos, and when did you start doing that?
It was my freshman year of high school, and this is like maybe like no, it was okay. It was actually sophomore year of high school because my brother. I'm gonna get this straight. My brother was a senior in high school and I was a freshman in high school, and he started making these videos on Instagram. Like we would go to a concert in Santa Cruz and he'd make a really cool video about it, and I was like, dude, this is so cool. Like that he's making this and people are really enjoying it. I want to learn how to make the same type of video. So the first video that I ever made is actually like almost an exact copy of the first video my brother made. And that was freshman year of high school. And then I just started making them because I thought they were really fun and funny, for myself at least. But that's the story of like when I really first started liking it. I just did it on my iPhone. I edited on iMovie, and that's how I started.
Yeah, because I remember first seeing them and I'm like, wow, this guy's like super like talented. And I was waiting for you to start YouTube, and you eventually did. Why did you decide to start YouTube and make YouTube videos?
I think that like a lot of people, in the back of their head, it's kind of like this thought of, oh, I wish I was a YouTuber someday. It's not going to happen, but I wish I was a YouTuber someday. And it happens all the time. And I think that like a lot of people haven't, really understood or appreciated the fact that it's, a viable career option if you want to pursue it. And so like when I realized like, hey, like I could do it for a living if I just kind of worked at it, I started making videos, and because I love it, right? And you have these people that want to go to like college for 4 years and they want to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to do the college thing. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like that sounds just as crazy as wanting to spend that many years doing a YouTube channel. Now that it's actually a thing that you can attain as long as you have like the right strategy going into it. So like I wanted to start a YouTube channel because I was like, I love doing it. I think it's totally, possible to succeed with it, with social media in general. And it's just what I want to do. And so I'm kind of treating it as if it's the only thing that I can do. Like it's the only possible option for me, Like I could, maybe go to a software camp and like learn software engineering. I could maybe like get into marketing, but I'm treating this as if it's like the only possible outcome for myself, and kind of banking on it. So let's see.
Yeah. So that's like your main thing now. Are you doing YouTube full time? Is that the thing?
No. Like I have sponsors reaching out for like TikTok and YouTube, and like some of them offer more money. Some of them are just like want to send stuff to me to review, which I don't accept any of them yet. I'm kind of like just trying to grow it. Like TikTok, I've been kind of working at that for a little while. We're at like 30,000 followers right now, which is cool, but like TikTok is very different than like, the amount of followers you need to monetize on YouTube. So no, like right now I actually am still producing content for people in the area, which I was working for a YouTuber for a while, right, for about a year, and then I decided to leave him because I wanted to pursue my own content. So yeah, it's kind of complicated. YouTube doesn't really monetize, doesn't pay very well. I get like maybe paid around like $300, $400 just from the ad revenue. And if I was taking on sponsorships, I probably could make maybe close to like $800, $900 a month from YouTube alone. But I choose to not because I feel like you don't want to oversaturate your content with a bunch of ads and like that kind of stuff when you have a smaller audience. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm still trying to figure out some of the niche on YouTube too. So kind of a long conversation. I got to keep it simple.
No, it's okay. It's a podcast. We're gonna talk. But I wanted to ask you about what's the longest it's taking you to edit a video?
The longest video for myself or for someone else?
Let's start with yourself.
The longest video that I've had to edit for myself. You know what? It was surprisingly, like, you wouldn't expect this, but I think it was my video where I did, like, I tried starting a series. It was called The Booth, where I, like, went to Stanford University and I built this, like, booth, right? And I, like, was interviewing students, almost like a podcast, but not really. More like have you ever seen those guys on TikTok, the podcast in public or something? Or something like that. Like, I tried something like that at Stanford University. And, you know, I had like multiple tracks of audio. I had all this audio interface equipment and all these random things. And getting it all to link up and then like mixing my questions between like 4 different people for the whole timeline took forever. It was really tedious. It wasn't like a fun edit necessarily, but you know, it had to get done.
Yeah. And
to answer the question, that probably took maybe like I don't know, like 9.5 hours to finish editing that video.
Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy editing though? Because for me, I like filming and doing the fun stuff, but when it gets to editing, staring at a computer for so long, I get so stressed and bored. Do you enjoy the editing part of it?
You know, it really depends on the video. You know, like I've had some videos on my channel that like I really enjoyed editing because there was a story to it, and I kind of felt like I was crafting the story. And then there are times when it's just like the same kind of edit has to happen. Like I just made a video where I was like quizzing my wife on like my Filipino culture, and that video sucked. Like I really didn't want to edit that video. It was just the same type of edit the whole time, all the way through. But then like videos where like I'm vlogging and trying something new, like I made a video where it's called like crazy vlogging gear for the iPhone 12 Pro Max or something, and I hooked it up to one of my gimbals that I use for videography, and that video like it was received pretty well. It got like good views. And I had a blast editing that video.
Super cool. And what would you say is your favorite video of yours and your least favorite video of yours?
My favorite video. That's hard because I have a lot of videos that I think.
Yeah.
So my least favorite video. Last year when I first started, I made a video where like I went to like Trader Joe's and bought a bunch of like fall related things from Trader Joe's. I hated that video. I don't know why, but like it had to get done, and I felt so discouraged about YouTube and content. And I made that video, and it got like no views, and I was just like, "Why am I doing this? This sucks." You know, that was probably my least favorite video of all time. And then I have like I think tied for first place. I have 2 videos. I made a video where it was like first day at college. It was like my first day at college back like a year ago. Yeah. I really, really enjoyed making that video. I spent a lot of effort into that one. That was probably my second like longest edited video. It probably took like 7 hours to finish that one. And then number 1, like for sure, like this is just it edges it out just a little bit. I think it was the video that I was just telling you about, the one that I had a really fun editing. Where like crazy vlogging equipment for the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I had so much fun making that. I did it with my friend Josh, and I was like, "Hey man, like you want to film this video today? I have a really good idea." He's like, "Yeah." I always had a really fun time. It didn't feel like sometimes. I mean, you have a YouTube channel too. Sometimes like when you're filming, you might agree, you might disagree. It feels kind of forced. Like you know you have to film a certain thing because it has to go into the video. But then there are times when it's just like you're recording, you're just having a really great time, and you know it's going to be good content. That was like the entire video. Just the whole thing was super fun, and it just felt like you knew it was going to be a good video again.
That's great. Yeah, and if only every video could be like that, where it's just having fun the whole time. Not everything has to be forced and stuff. So yeah, I do know what you mean. And I know you just worked with Gabe on a few videos. Tell me, what was it like working with Gabe?
Working with Gabe is really fun. I was actually just with him like an hour ago. So Gabe, he took my job. He like replaced me because I just left this job that I was at for like a year. So Gabe is now working with this guy on YouTube. He has like 50,000 subscribers, and he's like really wealthy, and like he makes content about business and finances and like construction. And now Gabe's there, so he's really close to where I'm at. And Gabe's gonna be moving to San Jose. And our plan is to just make a bunch of videos together because we just had so much fun. We made a video on his channel and we made a video on my channel, all in one day. So we filmed both those videos in one day, which is really difficult actually, but it was really, really fun. Gabe is he's a personality, man. I don't know. He's a funny kid, funny man.
Yeah, he is. I just had him on the podcast, so I just had him, and then you're gonna be next. So it's super cool. You did mention about school at first, how it might be crazy to like do school for 4 years because of all the money, and just as crazy as it is to do YouTube full time. Was it a difficult decision for you to leave school at first?
So like I had already like made up in my heart that like I didn't want to be, at school necessarily. I just had to like find, something that made it like not stupid decision, And here's the thing, like I'm not like an advocate for people dropping out of college, but like if you're gonna drop out, like have a plan at least, like have something that is possible, and like that was like what I waited to do. So when I finally had the opportunity to like fall into my lap, like it was like a no-brainer for me. And the thing is, this is like for anyone that's listening that like wants to start a YouTube channel, which is everyone wishes they had a YouTube channel. I'll tell you that much. I know this. Like 90% of people, they just wish they had a YouTube channel. Like, just freaking do it, because the only reason I got that job that let me drop out of college was because the guy found me on my YouTube channel. So he found me on YouTube, and then he DM'd me on Instagram. He's like, I love your videos. Like, do you want to work full-time with me to make my YouTube channel and grow this, like, huge thing? And I did that for a year, and it was all because of starting YouTube.
Wow. So it's kind of like a no-brainer because you had the opportunity to just do full-time, and you just did it. That's really inspiring, too, because I'm kind of like in a lost place, too, right now with school. And there's so much I want to do, like with music and like the whole creative side of it. So that's really inspiring me too.
Yeah, honestly, there's just so many, opportunities. And I like to say, like, even if you might not monetize directly, you never know, like, what kind of connection you might form, what kind of opportunity you might get because one person sees a video that is, important enough to get you some kind of career, some kind of connection, Like, I wasn't making money from my YouTube channel when he saw my video, and then he offered me a full-time job, and it was just like, you never know, you never know. So it's totally worth doing.
Yeah. And how different is it for you to make the YouTube videos and then the TikTok videos? Because I was looking at your TikToks recently, and you have so many views. What is your most viewed TikTok?
I think my most viewed TikTok, they're not all equal. So if you actually look at the analytics, when someone has like 5 million views, you can look at how many true views it has, like how many people watched it, and then they just repeated the video. So like my most viewed video, I think, is like 1.8 million of people that technically saw it. Yeah. But then the most viewed video that has like repeats on the views is like 2.1 million. But like, yeah. It just takes like, honestly, TikTok is your original question, like what's it like, making videos for TikTok versus YouTube, and like TikTok, I think is kind of like the new wave, or at least short form content. It doesn't have to be TikTok. Some people don't like talking about TikTok. They think it's cringe or whatever. But you have something like TikTok creating so many people's careers, right? And it's just like, how can you deny it as a platform? Like, why are you going to give it crap? Like, I understand you might not like it, right? But you have people making hundreds of thousands of dollars just making, videos about ice cream, or making videos about dancing and stuff, right? And so, to answer the question more like directly, it was hard because I came from a YouTube mindset of like, you got to come up with good ideas like once a week, to now I'm like trying to make 2 videos a day. And like, it was weird because like you can't come up with that many good ideas. So when I was just like, screw it, let's just make 2 videos a day, whatever comes to us that day, we'll just film it and make it happen. And like eventually, if consistency is good and you like making good videos, like followers will come and like you can build an audience and a community.
Yeah. And how do you come up with your ideas? Does it just normally hit you, or do you have it kind of planned out, or what?
So, like, I started my own TikTok because the last guy I was working for, he tasked me with creating his TikTok account, right? And I brought him from, like, 0 to, like, 75,000 followers in, like, 3 months, right? Yeah. And it was, like, I think I'm starting to understand how to do this thing. And a lot of it has to do with just, like, you kind of throw darts at a dartboard. When one of the videos hit, turn it into a series. Just literally make it into a series and do what the audience wants. And that's what I learned about TikTok, which is different than YouTube, kind of, is that the audience dictates what, you should be posting. You can still post what you want and, like, what makes you happy. But let's say like I'm making videos about like a niche, and like people are like, oh, I really like this video, you know, and make more videos like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Does that kind of make sense? Like the audience dictates
Yeah,
what you should make.
because I've
So like,
seen comments in those TikToks too where people they're kind of like, you should do this next or do this next, or like
yeah.
I have seen that. Yeah.
And that's like what makes it easy. So like when you're making TikTok videos, make it in such a way that like gives the audience a chance to input what they think is best too. And if if it's well received, then just do what they say, and like make content for the people, because in the end of the day, like any company that sells a product, they sell it because they believe in it first of all, but they also want more people to buy the product, right? So when you're like, product is entertainment, why wouldn't you do what more people want to see? You know what I mean? It's a no-brainer there too. So
Yeah. I just saw yours recently. The one you showed your wife your ass. You just put your pants down and your ass was in front of your wife. Her reaction was so hilarious. I love that one.
yeah, that video, I was just, there's a couple of them that, and this is the funny part, is the videos that I put some of the least amount of effort into, like when it comes to like ideation, were the videos that got the most views. So I did a video where like I reviewed my wife. I was like 1 year review of my wife, right? And that video got like 2 million views, And I was like, whoa. And then and when I did it, I didn't plan it. I literally just walked into the room, set the phone in front of her, and started recording, And then the video where I showed her my booty, freaking, I just started the recording, and I made, this is funny because a lot of people commented about this. I made sure that the mirror in the background just barely didn't show it. Because what you want to do is you want to drive people to comment things, right? Yeah. That's how the TikTok algorithm works. Is driven by engagement, right? But that video was stupid. I don't think that video deserved to get as many views as it got, but it worked.
Yeah, it's crazy how the ones you put the least effort in, people watch the most, or the ones that you really work on, people don't really watch. Because I know what that feeling is like. Like I've worked really hard on videos and no one really watched it, and then the ones I kind of just didn't really care about, people really watched it, or are people's favorites. When people tell me their favorites, some video that I don't even know, I don't remember recording. It's very weird. So it's hard to know like exactly what people want,
Yeah, it's the struggle, and like there is a little bit of you'll see like burnout in the creator community. Like I have like friends that like been making videos forever, and some of them like they made a full time living out of it, right? People that have like a couple 100,000 and multiple hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok and multiple subscribers on YouTube. You get burnt out because like making content for other people can always feel rough, right? And then at the end of the day, like you kind of want to say that you're your own boss when you're making videos, but like truly, like the audience is like your boss,
Right.
And like they're the ones that have the power to like make sure you get a paycheck or not get a paycheck. So I don't know. It's just being part of the system and like understanding how to work with it is kind of like the goal.
Yeah, definitely. The next thing I wanted to ask you about was that you're married. So I wanted to ask you, because I remember watching your video and just being extremely happy for you and all that. And no, really, I was very, very, very happy. And so I don't know, I was just very happy for you. And I first wanted to ask you first, like, how did you meet your wife? When did you guys meet and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's actually a funny story. I mean, like, Nicole Anastasio, and I'm sure a lot of people that are going to listen know Nicole Anastasio. The short version is that Nicole, when we were juniors in high school, and I both went to the same leadership camp, like sponsored by the Rotarians in like Castroville, and there's a guy side and a girl side. And Nicole, she like was cabin mates with this girl named Natalie Tate, right? And and this is like years before college, right? And so just that's kind of like the beginning of the story. So then, fast forward a couple years, it's freshman year of college. And I remember Nicole had posted a couple of pictures with her and that girl, right? And I'm in the freshman dining commons, right? Like the cafeteria. And I see that girl. I'm like, that girl looks so familiar. I'm like, I swear I know who that is, But I'm like, no, it can't be that girl from Nicole's camp thing because, Nicole would have told me, right? But the girl's like super tall. She's like 6 feet tall. And I'm like, no, Nicole told me that girl was super tall. Like, I got to go say hi. And I'm like, I walk up to her. I'm like, hey, are you like that girl that, which is a weird way to say hi to anyone. I'm like, hey, are you that girl that like roomed with this person that I know? And she's like, oh my gosh, yeah, and then like, basically her and I kind of hit it off. We became friends and stuff. And she actually didn't go to SJSU. She went to UC Davis. And then she basically ended up going like, hey, I have a cousin named Mallory Tate that like lives there too. You should go say hi. And I was like, okay, I'll go say hi, right? And I saw her and I was like, oh my gosh, this girl is so beautiful. Like, she's freaking gorgeous. And then I walked up to her and like a complete school, like I knew her name, and she didn't know who I was, and I was like, hey, Mallory. And she thought I was this weird guy that just walked up to her and knows her name. And I was like, oh, dude, I blew it. Like, what a weird way to say hi to someone. But, after that, like, I remember, like, walking with her, to, like, the coffee joint, down the street, and, like, sharing earphones with her, listening to music, and it's like that, like, the next day. And we kind of hit it off. And we spent, like, 24 hours together. No, we spent, like, 7 days, 24 hours a day. Like 7 days. It's, like, spending the whole time to get it. We were like, it was during the holiday season, so she came over and decorated my dorm for Halloween. I decorated her dorm for Halloween, and then it just kind of became this whole like thing. And then we were on and off for a little bit, like that happens sometimes. And then like we just dated for a while, dated for a long time, and then COVID came, and just like the perfect recipe for us to be able to get married happened, and then we ended up getting married at Nicole's house, which is a funny like full turn of event, that we get married at Nicole's house. Which is really cool. I love Nicole. I really appreciate her, and it was really good. She offered that to us during a time when it was like, kind of hard to find venues and figure things out. And like I had my community support me, and like I had friends that made like the tri-tip and the barbecue, and friends that made all the pastries, and like people brought things and just helped us out. It was really good. It was a really good time, and I felt like really supported by my community.
Yeah, that's what I loved about it. I saw that it was at Nicole's house, and it seemed really like small and just like close friends and family. It seemed like a really amazing thing because a lot of people go all out for weddings and all that stuff, but I really loved yours. But I wanted to ask you, how did you know it was the perfect time to propose?
How did I know? Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. So like, I knew that it was the perfect time to propose because. Here's the thing. I like had already like set within my heart that I'm gonna like get married to this person, right? And so it made no sense to me to like continue to date for like longer and longer and longer. Like it's just kind of normal to date someone for like 2 or 3, even 4 or 5 years before you get married. Like it didn't make sense to me anymore, because I already had like within my personal convictions to like I want to get married to this person. That's what we're working towards. And then when I proposed, like I said earlier, it was just like the perfect recipe of things that happened. Like financially, it just made sense in that moment. We had the opportunity to like, it was right when the leases ended, and like she had the opportunity to come like move into a lease with with me, because everyone had left the house. So it just made like everything, the timing of it all just made sense, because if she had signed up the lease, she would have been living with a bunch of girls for another year, like or 9-month lease or whatever. So just the recipe kind of just made it work. But like I could say all the cheesy stuff like, oh, I just love you so much and I knew that it was the time, but honestly, like just logistically it just makes sense to do it then.
Yeah. And you also filmed a video too. Did you know you wanted to make a video and you got some friends involved in it too, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that I wanted to film a video, and some people might hate this, but just my personality, like I think that like I'm a pretty like spontaneous person, and so like I actually made it my full decision to propose like almost like the night before. I knew that I wanted to do it, and I knew that like I wanted to make it good, so I wasn't gonna like cheese out on it and make it something really stupid and like propose at like McDonald's or some crap. But the next day, like I was like, I want to make a video of this just because I want to remember it and I want her to remember it. I didn't post it on YouTube or anything. I posted it on TikTok way later, but I don't know. I posted it on Instagram too. That was just for friends, families, just for people to see. But yeah, I filmed it, and I didn't think the video was going to turn out well. It was really just for memories, and it turned out being a really fun little thing. My brother, sister-in-law, and my friend Chris, they kind of all pitched in to help make it like a really good experience, and so like pretty memorable.
Yeah, I love that video. Super great. I loved as soon as I watched it. Yeah, and I think that's it. All I want to ask you about the wedding. I mean, again, I'm just like really happy for you. It must be like an amazing like moment for you, because if you look back, imagine yourself like 18 in high school and how much your life has changed like now that you're married. Yeah,
I was a pretty different person in a lot of ways. I'm like the same person, but like my views of like the world and views of like how I interacted with it was really different. So yeah, like I do often look back at being 18 years old in high school, and I always make jokes with my wife and say like, you wouldn't have liked me when I was a senior in high school. And she's like, no, I probably wouldn't have. So it's, like, it was a lot of change had to happen in my heart a lot of change had to happen with like, how I want to, like live in the world and how I want to love those around me. And I think that like that's why she was okay with marrying me, because she has a lot of discernment, for her character. So like I think that like part of the reason she was okay with marrying me is because she saw that like the way I wanted to love those around me like was something that she wanted in her life. So it is crazy how much things have changed.
Yeah, I really do think she would like you though in high school, because I haven't talked to you since like graduation, since like senior year, and you haven't changed a single bit. Your personality is the same. You also look exactly the same. I don't know what the hell has changed, but it's funny that you were saying that.
Yeah, it's just you don't expect so much to change like your freshman year of college, but like the way you view the world changes so much when you like go to college, or when you just leave the house or leave like your hometown. So much about your like mentality changes, and it's just like even if nothing looks like it changes on the outside, like everything inside is like changed. It's like you kind of feel like a completely like different human being than you were at that point in life. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My freshman year of college, yeah, like I learned so much about myself and like the world, and I changed tremendously, and it changes you. Did you have any like struggles at all during your first year of college, or like was it just really fun, or what do you remember about your first year of college? Because I do want to say like no one really talks about like how stressful it is, because your first semester it's like you're just diving into this, you don't know what to expect and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. Like when I first started, I actually went there because my brother went there first, and I've been visiting for like from sophomore year of high school to senior year. I was visiting like all the time, so I had like friends kind of going in, or at least like older people that knew me, friends, whatever you want to call them. They were like brothers, friends, kind of friends with me too. But it was just really fun to start out, and then like it kind of got messy around like halfway through the year with like social dynamics, and things just got kind of awkward between me and like my friend group. So like that kind of like blew a little bit. I still had the older community of friends, like that was really cool. But like when it came to like classes and school and everything, like sorry, it was never like I never had it within me to like really like want to be there academically. So like I passed all my classes and that was fine and everything, but you kind of like I don't know, man. It's just like you want all the friends and you want the community that comes with it, but like the schooling aspect was so stressful for me, and it was so difficult. But yeah, college can be pretty stressful, and it's also stressful because you get there and then all you start to know after some time is this like curated, bubble that is created for you as like a freshman in college. Like it's like designed to like make you love the experience, right? Like you have friends all over the place. You can walk down the hall and make new friends, go to the next door in the dorms and make some new friends. Everything is just like a bubble. And then when you like leave that bubble or the bubble pops, like your world like shatters and falls apart, and you're like, holy crap, there's like a real world outside of this like freshman experience, So it was like that's like, goes to say that there's definitely a lot that happened, experience wise that like changes you, and kind of maybe prepares you a little bit more. But I don't know. Did that kind of answer the question? I feel like I kind of ramble a lot.
No, I understood it perfectly. And also being in school and not really knowing what you want to do, because I know you mentioned that at the beginning, because I was like that too. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? Where am I going to go with my life? Like, and taking all these hard classes and academic wise and still not knowing where it's going to take you. It's really struggling too, especially when when you're studying for something that's not going to make you happy. I think that's the key thing for us students. We need to know what's going to make us happy, and if we could see ourselves doing that for the long run. And I'm glad that you found that,
Yeah, like there's, this has been a hot topic with me and a lot of my friends lately, because, here in the Silicon Valley, like the culture and the vibe is like, you work for like a big tech company. That's kind of like the goal here. So like you join like the marketing team at like freaking Apple, Google, Facebook, Zoom, Adobe, like all those big companies. Or you become a software engineer, or you like join the PR team because you work in communications. And, it's just like the culture is really just like work, very individualistic, stay to yourself, get a job. And like one thing that like I feel like gets neglected in the area is like personal like liberty and like happiness with like what you're doing.
Yeah.
But like I'm not like one of those people that's like really whimsical about it. It's like, oh, just do what makes you happy, because like sometimes what makes you happy doesn't pay the bills, And there are bills that need to get paid. Like I have rent, I have like a wife, like I have like my dog and like a car payment, and like it's not like I wish that I could just go full time with content and just make it, but it's like it's whimsical thinking sometimes. So like how do you find like that middle ground between doing what you love, making some amount of money to sustain your livelihood, right? And, figuring out how to like make those two things grow together. Has been a pretty interesting conversation. So yeah, we could go on for hours talking about that.
Yeah, definitely. It's hard to figure out too. Yeah, I didn't really see it that way because, again, like the things that you love to do and what makes you happy might not pay the bills, like you said. But also, trying to find that balance. Making money and keep going with it, but then also figuring out what you love, finding kind of a balance between it, like you said. That does make sense. Yeah. Oh, I want to ask about music because I know you're really into music and you're a musician. Do you still get to play instruments or play music from time to time?
Honestly, like I kind of like fell off a little bit. I was part of like this club on campus, and I was playing the drums for a little bit. But no, like music became a lot less of an aspect of my life and lifestyle. It was kind of like everything to me at some point. When I was in high school, it was a big part of my life. But I realized like music is awesome and everything, but like you can create like many worlds within videography and making videos. And like music helps that for me, but like the way I wanted to go was like video, and I wanted to go full force into that, study it, do everything I need to learn, just get everything under my belt when it came to video, because you can just you can make some huge movements happen with video. You can freaking move mountains and freaking like change the world. So that's kind of like why I kind of chose to focus on that more than music.
Yeah, exactly. Because you play the drums, and then what did you play with the band?
I played the saxophone in marching band, in like jazz and marching band.
Nice.
But yeah, that was just a different point line. I think drums, maybe I would have done something with drums. I probably would never have done something with saxophone. It's cool and all, but like it's not a very versatile instrument. Like you don't go to like a bonfire with your friends and whip out a saxophone and play a campfire song, So like, it was just never a really practical instrument. But yeah, music is cool. Music is cool, but definitely I'm not focusing on it.
Yeah. I like to ask everyone that comes on about like their favorite musicians, your favorite singers and bands and stuff like that. What do you like to listen to?
Yeah, my music taste like kind of varies by like the season, season of life, not like the winter, spring, summer, fall, like season of life kind of. Yeah. I think right now like kind of listening to a lot of trying to think. I put together several albums on Spotify. So I guess you can consider it like a mixture of like indie rock, kind of like, I guess you can call it like, this is super cheesy and kind of like lame, but like adventure music, if you want to call it that. Like, have you ever seen like a movie like Ticket to Flight with Walter Mitty? Like stuff you find in that kind of movie, or like I've also been listening to a little more EDM. I've just had a lot of. I really want to go to EDC. That's like my dream right now is just to go to EDC. Yeah, I really want to go to EDC. That sounds super fun. But so I guess like a mixture of just those two things, like depending on the day.
That's nice. EDC. I love EDC. I did not know you were gonna say that. Wow.
Did you go?
No, but I love them.
Yeah, I do. I want to go so bad. Like, but the tickets are like kind of expensive. Like, I think the trip, if my wife and I were to go, would cost like $1,500 just for everything.
Oh my God.
It's kind of expensive, but I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see. If it's worth it, then it's worth it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Have you ever gone to any concerts?
Like the guy that I was working with, we were taking trips to Miami. For like all these business conferences and like meeting up with other creators and stuff. And it was really cool. But we were there like 2 months ago. I was in Miami, and it's funny. I don't know if any of you guys know Esteban Ornelas, but we ended up driving by. I think it was Rolling Loud. We drove by, and my boss was like, "Oh, let's go to Rolling Loud." It was like middle of the night, and we're like, "Yeah, whatever. Let's go to Rolling Loud." And so we all get out of like the Ubers and everything. 1 second. We all get out of our Ubers. And we walk up to the front, and there's some scalpers that are selling tickets, and they buy them for like freaking 3 times the price. And like there's like 15 of us just like walk in because it's a big group, and we just go in. And it's funny because I saw Esteban Ornelas right outside the front, just like standing there. I was like, "What's up, bro?" And then we went in. So I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hated that concert. It was really boring. We all ended up we stayed for like 2 hours, and then we like sold our bracelets and then left. But yeah, I've been to a lot of like smaller concerts. I've seen Odessa, seen Marshmallows, and then like some smaller indie bands that people probably haven't heard of, but like in Santa Cruz, they have the Atrium over there. They have a lot of cool bands, but it's been cool. Yeah, I like concerts.
Are you telling me that you saw Esteban In Miami?
Yeah, so Stepan, he was like dating some girl. He goes to what? Is it John Hopkins? Is that the name of his university? I think it's John Hopkins, but I might be wrong. But he like, was dating some girl, and he brought some girl to Rolling Loud, and he like has lost her in Rolling Loud. And I found him. I have a picture. If you go, I don't know if maybe I'll send it to you later. But freaking, I found him outside of the front gate, and he's just standing there. I looked at him like, "Is that one?" He's like, "Cameron." I'm like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, I don't know. My girlfriend is gone." I was like, "Well, I mean, like, find her." I don't know. It was a funny conversation, but yeah, it was funny seeing him there.
What are the odds? Oh, I forgot to tell you, I saw you end of July at the San Francisco airport. I wanted to run and come because you were leaving the gate that I was waiting to get into the plane. You were in the previous plane that I got to because my plane was gonna.
I got back from Miami.
Yeah,
That's the day I got back from Miami.
My plane was gonna stop in Miami, and I saw you coming out of it. But there were so many people, and I'm like, I don't think that's him. And then I'm like, yeah, it was Cameron.
Oh man, you should have come and say hi. That was really cool. Yeah, I was like super dead. We just got back from the trip, and like the day before that, and keep in mind, I'm just a video guy, so like I promise I'm not gloating at all. I talk about these experiences, but like my job was to be there to record the experiences for these people, right? So just keeping that in mind. But we like had gone to a yacht the day before, and like we stayed on the yacht for like a long time, and like no one we got like maybe 3 hours of sleep the night before because we were at like this huge nightclub, and freaking like after the yacht, immediately from the yacht with like maybe like 2.5 hours, 3 hours of sleep, went straight to the airplane, and like we were almost late for the plane, and then flew back. So when you saw me, I was like a freaking zombie. I was literally like dead, but yeah, you should have come and said hi. It would have been cool.
Yeah, I was going to Puerto Rico. Yeah, that's the flight that I was going. Yeah, I go to Puerto Rico every summer. So yeah. Oh my god, I think we went through everything that I wrote for you. This is the time where I usually ask my guest if you have a question for me before we finish up.
Yeah, I mean, what are your? I'm kind of curious because it is cool you have a podcast. I've been thinking about starting a podcast with me and my wife. If my TikTok started to blow up and we had like another stream of content for an audience.
Yeah.
Like, what are your like long-term plans for your podcast, man? Like, how are you going to sustainably keep it going?
That is a great question because I've been thinking about that recently because I'm gonna finish off season 2, but then looking at like future episodes, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do because I kind of like. I don't want to say I ran out of people to have on, but everyone that I was excited to have on, it happened, and I'm really grateful for it, and I don't know, because people click on my episodes to listen to because of the person that I'm having on. I don't think they really click on it to listen to me, and so coming up with
I don't know if that's true, Joel. I don't think that's true. People definitely listen for you too, man.
But I don't know, because I did have some ideas, like I love listening to albums and music, so maybe I could do like album breakdowns each episode, but the interview thing, I'm starting to run out of people, and I don't know who else I want to have on, so I don't know, but the podcast thing, it was very weird for me. It was never really ever in the cards for me. It's just there were so many people that I met in my life, and a lot of people that I wanted to reconnect with. That was a big reason I wanted to do it. I could just FaceTime with people and just catch up and talk. And but it's been really great. Like, I've had a lot of fun. It's one of the best things I've ever done in my life, and I'm really grateful for it. But long-term wise, I don't know what I'm going to do with it or how I can keep up with it, I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, good luck to you. Like, figuring out ideas for content, like, people have no idea how much of a struggle it is, So, honestly, good luck to you. I think that you'll make it happen, and I think like even if you have ideas that don't work out, like that could be the catalyst for you figuring out the ideas that do work out. So I wish you good luck on figuring out what you do with the podcast and YouTube too, man. I don't know what you've been doing with your YouTube channel, but it seems like you've been making a little less content than you did before.
Yeah, the thing with that, I mean, I've always loved to sing. I'm always singing all the time, but I kind of promise myself every video that I put out, it's gonna be like 100% of myself. I'm gonna sing my heart out, and I'm gonna make every video perfect or like the best that I can nail it. So, because before, I know you know what this feels like. Before, I felt like I needed to post all the time. I was trying to post like 2-3 videos a week, and when you're singing, it's kind of easy because you just sing. But for me, I was like sitting on my chair, and my camera was right in front of me, and I would sing like 12 songs back to back, blowing my voice out. So I'd record these 12 songs, and then I'll have 12 videos ready for the next 3 or 4 weeks. So I'd have everything planned out. And that's what, it was kind of like a priority for me. And, but now I'm at a place, now that I've been on YouTube almost 4 years. Yeah. I'm at a place I'm kind of like, it's not a priority for me anymore and it's not my main thing, but I still love to do covers and sing. So it's still on the cards for me, but every time I post, which it'll be maybe once a month, if that, here and there, it'll be like great songs and songs that I feel like I can nail that kind of represent me. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, like, you have a lot of creators in the industry that, like, post, like, even once a month. Like, Mark Rober, he only posts once a month, right? He gets, like, millions of views. So there's nothing wrong with, like, spreading it out if that means you, like, are creating videos that, like, you're super proud of. So it's good to hear, you know? Because I definitely know, like, that struggle of feeling, you know, forced to put something out every week, you know? And so sometimes that means, like, you kind of have to, like, it almost feels like you're selling yourself out, you know? But, you know, it's good to hear that you're, like, really taking your time with it. So yeah.
Have you ever felt that way, like tired or stressed because you're always posting all the time and filming all the time? Do you ever wish you could take a breather sometimes, or have you not been like that yet?
The stress that, like, I feel is a little different when it comes to that stuff. The stress that I feel is, like, I have this, like, longing in my heart, and I have this idea of what I want my life to look like with content. And so when I'm making these videos, sometimes it feels hard to, like, put so much into a video and it only gets, like, a couple hundred views. You know, like, some of the videos even get, like, a couple thousand views. It's cool, but, like, it's not, like, life-changing. And so the stress that I feel, like, while I'm recording is, like, really wishing, like, knowing that what I'm saying right now is going to reach, you know, like, tons and tons of people, you know, but knowing that it probably won't is like a stress that I feel. So that's why, I mean, I do like TikTok, because I can reach more people. I think that, like, what I can reach them with is not necessarily as powerful as, like, what I can reach, like, the kind of stuff I can say on YouTube, because, you know, it's more personable. I can have longer time to tell stories, like, things like that, to create these, like, videos. But yeah, like, my stress is just, like, I know what I want my life to look like, and I feel like I'm on, like, this time, you know, like, this, like, ticking this clock, right, where, like, until, like, the next payment for rent is due, I'm still spending so much time working, you know, like, making videos for people and, like, producing content for others. It just kind of feels like I'm in this box sometimes. I just really need to be released from it and, like, make my own content and do what I love, do what I'm passionate about. That's the kind of stress that I feel when it comes to that stuff. If that answers your question.
Yeah. And what do you want your life to look like, if you don't mind me asking? Like, what is the main goal with all of this?
So, like, honestly, you know, when I was working with that guy, part of the reason that I left is I think I started to, like, idolize, like, money and, like, financial success, like, way too much. Because all the people I was surrounded by, these guys were, like, millionaires, you know? Like, my boss, like, the dude's a freaking millionaire. My former boss, you know, the dude's, like, a millionaire, you know, like, kind of does whatever the hell he wants, you know, like, he's dropping $15,000 on a table at, like, nightclubs and, like, crazy things, right? And it kind of, I started to realize that, like, I idolized, you know, like, that lifestyle too much, and I wanted to leave, and that forced me to, like, kind of, like, reassess my goals for what I wanted in my own life and my own channels. Like, honestly, I want to reach people, and I want to, like, tell people, you know, stories, and I want to, like, you know, be able to, like, be impactful with the things that I, like, am passionate about. And, you know, I wanted to pay well enough to support my livelihood, and, like, I like doing cool things, like, sure, like, I like doing that, but, like, the goal is not, like, to be rich. The goal is not to, like, even the word famous, like, I don't even necessarily like that, you know? It's just, like, I just want to have a platform that, like, I can use to support my livelihood, and I can reach people and impact people. That's, like, as simple as it is, you know? Like, I swear to you. I know that sounds so basic. I feel like everyone probably has a very similar answer to that. But, you know, being rich, like, I just want it to be so much less of a goal and so much less of a priority for me, because it just muddies the water, and you start to sell yourself out and do things that, like, you know, are totally against, like, your values as a person. And, you know, that's why I'm, like, I just want to figure it out and just have a platform, you know?
Yeah, and with the way that you're going, you're definitely going to achieve that. Like, I'm super proud of everything that you've achieved. I know you don't like receiving compliments, you said it, but I'm really proud of you of everything. Like, seeing, like, your first videos on Instagram and all that, to becoming a YouTuber and a content creator and TikToks and pursuing this, and for this being your dream. Like, I'm really happy and proud of you, and it's been really amazing to see you achieve all of that in such a short amount of time too. So I'm really happy for you.
Honestly, I really appreciate that, Yoel. It's like, I think that the hard part about being a creator is that, I said this to one of my friends the other day, and he like, dude, that's like totally like spot on. Is that no one really wants to support you until you're big, right? And like when you're a content creator, when you have like less views and like low follower count, people almost think it's cringe to be a creator. Almost like it's a cringy thing to make these videos, and you almost like feel like you get crap from people, right? Like, oh, he wants to be a content creator, but then like let's say a year down the road you have 100,000 followers. People then they support it. They're like, oh, I always knew you could make it, right? And so that's why like, I really appreciate telling me that. It's really nice. It's really encouraging. It's very affirming. And like knowing that it's from another creator yourself. Like someone like creates and like has a passion for creating, whether it be like music or videos, a podcast, right? All the things that you do too, which are really cool. Like it's nice hearing from someone like you. Because there's not that many of us relative to like everyone else in the population. And these conversations, they're usually not as constructive, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, definitely. And back to, you made a good point how like when people kind of start off, no one really believes you until you make it big. There's a song that I was thinking of when you were saying it. The lyrics are you told them your dreams and they all started laughing. I guess you're out of your mind until it actually happens. And that's literally what you just said right now. So it's cool that you noticed that, and it is the truth, yeah. Oh my god, you froze. Unless, there you go. We're good. You froze for a minute.
Yeah. It's funny because, when someone says, like, oh, I want to be a doctor someday, and it's like freshman year of college, no one laughs at them. You're like, oh, you want to be a doctor someday? I'm sure you'll, like, study to get to that point. Or, oh, I want to be, like, a lawyer someday. I was like, oh, okay, I understand this person's going to take the path to become a lawyer. And you don't laugh at them, but, like, when it comes to being a content creator, like, people have to get out of the mindset that it's not a real career, that there's not a real economy that surrounds that entire, sphere of people. And like when someone says like, I want to be a content creator someday, like sure, like assess what they're saying to see if they actually mean it. And if they mean it, like support them, because people like you and me, like need so much support, and like, it's hard. It's difficult, so like having a support system of people that are just like, I believe in you, I think you can do it, work hard at it, it's not going to fall into your lap, work hard at it, but having supporters and people that like really believe in you, like even you like commenting on my videos, commenting as many videos as you have, like almost all of my YouTube videos that I can remember, for a while you've been commenting, and it's like, like we notice that stuff, like it means a lot, and like Gabe does the same thing, he comments on a lot of my videos, and just that amount of support, even from like one or two or three people, like that's just what it takes, it's necessary, because we can't do it on our own, we can't support ourselves the whole time.
Exactly. Having a support system to push us to keep doing it, hearing people saying nice things that they watched our videos or stuff like that, that's what keeps us going and makes us happy. Dude, I miss talking to you. Like, I forgot how much you love to talk. I love it.
That's funny. It's funny because you say that, and it's like 50-50 split between people using it as a compliment and people using it as an insult. So.
Oh no, I love it.
Oh man, it gets me in trouble sometimes, but it's the way I do things.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on my podcast. This means the world to me, and I'm really happy. So thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. It was a good time. It was good talking to you too.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening to Confabulate. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Cameron once again, and I'll see you guys next week. Thank you.